you walk out on that field today, ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We made it! We made it! We made it! We made it! And let's go to the afternoon! And let's go to the afternoon! When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We made it. And let's go to the afternoon. And let's go to the afternoon. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin strap. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him. He's a man. He can be hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We made it. And let's go to the afternoon. And let's go to the afternoon. It's a wrap. Game over.
No, it's not over. Just jumped on for a little bit, trying to fight through a migraine headache, but I wanted to jump on because there were several things that needed to be discussed today on Talk Your Team Tuesday. So glad to be here on the show. If you are just tuning in, we are powered by JM&E, streaming live on ROKU, courtesy of BS3 TV. I'm AJ Jones. All right, so a lot of things I want to talk about. Today. I want to go through some of these scores from this past weekend. Of course, the NFL coming around on Thursday. If you're going to be a part of the lunch break weekly, keeping up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge, you need to have your picks in by this Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Central. 5:30 p.m. Central. You can text them to me, 832-403-5005. That's 832-403-5005. Or you can email them, aj@jonesmediaandent.com. That's aj@jonesmediaandent.com. All right, just talked to Milo. Milo's ready to go. Keith Hennick is ready to go. Chi-Town is ready to go. Danny is ready to go down in Louisiana. Got a lot of folks that are ready to go. Are you ready to go is the question. Are you ready to go? CJ, King Dog, BS3, are y'all ready to go? I'll be sending the link out in the BS3 family network as well so that they can participate as well. So anyway, we got a lot going on today. Coach Johnny Cole going to jump on with me at 12:30. We'll talk about the HBCU scores from the weekend, and we'll get those in as well. But what I do want to talk about right now is there's a young man at LSU had two muff punts. Muff punts is he went to catch it, didn't catch it, the other team recovered it. Some folks feel like he cost them the game. He didn't. Those plays didn't help. They were a part of what caused LSU to lose. But those two plays particularly did not cost them the game. Good folks down there at LSU in Baton Rouge, some of them, decided that they wanted to attack this young man via social media and on his personal accounts, to the point where the young man tried to scrub all those comments off of his social media profiles and then finally deleted his account. I'm not going to make this specific to LSU, but I will say LSU has a great fan base that make you know that it is you in the house when you're in Death Valley. You're in the house when you're in Death Valley. I got one chance to be on the field there when I was on the practice squad or the scout team, if you will, for Tulane. Our coach that year took everybody to that game, so we had a good size. And that was the loudest stadium that I'd ever been in on the field. I could feel the vibrations of the noise in my body. It was that loud. Except for when we beat LSU and they were on their way to the Orange Bowl and the fans started throwing oranges down at the players. Fast forward to 2022, this past weekend. Actually, that was Monday night. No, Sunday night. That was Sunday night. And some in the LSU fan base decided that they wanted to issue death threats to this young man. LSU is one of the greatest places to go to school. LSU is one of the worst places to go to school. Two definitely diametrical opposite things can be true at the same time. It's one of the best places to go to school. It's one of the worst places to go to school. And before you think that I'm just dogging LSU, I can say the same thing about The Ohio State. I can say the same thing about them. Basketball player a couple of years ago in the NCAA tournament. Same thing. Death threats, all that over a missed basket, a turnover, something that caused them to lose in the NCAA March Madness tournament. One of the best places to go to school, one of the worst places to go to school. Because you got certain people that just don't know how to keep it about sports. You got certain people who feel like they are entitled to somebody else's life going the way that they want it to go. Not going to make it a race issue, but it's typically the case that it is a non-person of color upset because a person of color, black person, playing a sport didn't do what they wanted them to do. So you've got not just one person, but multiple people that jumped on this young man's social media sites and threatened his life. Unacceptable, unconscionable, just shouldn't be allowed. And I'm still trying to figure out what Brian Kelly has done, is doing, and will do. Because he is the coach of that team, and it is his responsibility to protect that young man on his team. The administration at the school, it is their responsibility to protect that young man. I don't want to hear about BYU. I don't want to hear about volleyball. I don't want to hear about that. Because some people, for some reason, cannot compartmentalize one thing from another. It is unacceptable, and LSU needs to be making sure that that young man is protected at all costs. I said to Coach on yesterday when I jumped in his show for a few minutes that doesn't happen at HBCUs. You don't have students, fans, alumni sending death threats to players when they don't perform. It just doesn't happen. Now, you got outside groups sending death threats to HBCU schools because they exist. But you don't have HBCU students, fans, alumni sending death threats to their players when they don't perform. That is one of those things that the Power Five, Group of Five, FCS, you name it, Division II, Division III, whatever level, that's got to be addressed and dealt with. I don't care how much money a person makes on NIL because somebody said, oh, well, welcome to the world of NIL. I don't have a damn thing to do with it. How much money a kid is making in endorsements for his own name, his own image, and his own likeness does not give us as fans the right to threaten a person's life because they didn't do what we thought that they should do. And if you can't get that through your head, and I'm not talking to anybody specifically that normally follows my show, I'm talking to the people that know that they do it and are trying to blend in with everybody else. The player doesn't have the problem, you do. The player does not have the problem. Your sick behind does. And I hope you're found out, you're rooted out, and I'll use one of your phrases, that cancel culture kicks your behind. I'll take a break. I'll be right back. Talk Your Team Tuesday right here on the lunch break, powered by Jones Media and Entertainment. And Coach Colden jumped in live. So we'll get him on in a few minutes right after this on the lunch break. Again, powered by JM&E.
If you're looking for a sports program that gives you the flavor.
Washington Commanders? Really?
This whole thing stinks to high heaven.
That pulls no punches.
Thuggish act by a thuggish actor.
That gives you humor.
Praise everything LeBron does and never criticize it.
If you want a show that gives you good times, this is that show. BS3 Network proudly presents.
I am Colt Johnson and welcome to
Go Sports with the Z. Every Friday on Patreon and every Saturday on YouTube, Spreaker, and all other outlets.
All right, I'll be down in Harriman, Tennessee in a couple of weeks. We will be filming, of course, the last parts of The Last Hurdle, the life and story of Olympian, four-time Olympian, Sharifa Barksdale, Dr. Sharifa Barksdale. So, all right. Hey, without further ado, let me get the man who's got his own HBCU stroll, Johnny Cole, and the HBCU stroll joining me on Talk Your Team Tuesday. Coach, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing wonderful, Coach. You know, just hey, I'm here with you on the lunch break, baby. I'm having my lunch with you.
Man, I appreciate you doing it. It's Talk Your Team Tuesday, and I just got done calling out the crazies over at LSU for the way they treated that kid on those muff punts. And I got to tell you, man, it's just I'm sick and tired of folks. I'm not going to make it a PWI issue, but we don't do that on HBCU levels. We don't do that. But what I'll say is they got to start treating these kids better.
Yeah, now without a doubt, you know, at the end of the day, the kids and, you know, the game is just the game. At the end of the day, I get it. You know, we all get caught up into it and we want to win. But, you know, at the end of the day, that's somebody's child, you know. So hopefully that we can learn from this situation and maybe they can get to the people who were sending those letters to this young man and, you know, give them a warning or let them know that, you know, this stuff is prohibited.
Yeah, I got to tell you, and I say this, and folks are going to be mad at me. I got zero faith that that'll happen at LSU. I got zero faith that that'll happen at LSU. I think they'll go through the motions. I think they'll say they did this and they did that, but I got zero faith that they'll get to the bottom of it at LSU.
Yeah, well, then people need to start looking at LSU, and maybe that's not the place to go.
Well, hey, you and me understand that, Coach. You and me understand that. Oh, you went on mute, Coach. Did somebody call you? Your phone jumped on mute.
I'm sorry.
There you go. You back.
Yeah. I said definitely that don't happen on the HBCU level. And we'll take you down there.
Yeah.
So how's it going, man? How you doing? Man, it was big weekend for me in football.
You and me both. Let me just tell you, I'm fighting a migraine, so I'm going to rely on you a little bit. I was only going to do about 30 minutes, but you said you wanted to jump on, so I said, let me hang in here with Coach. So,
yeah.
But, there was some big-time HBCU football. A couple of money games, though. Miami and Bethune, 70-13. Of course, Miami has beaten Bethune-Cookman every time that they've played them. But talk about the benefits of those type of games and the not so beneficial things of those type of games.
Well, of course, the benefit is the money for the university, But on the flip side of that, or for the coach, if the coach got in his contract that I'll play so many Division I-A schools, knowing that the loss is going to go on my record, which carries me through my career, and he gets a percentage of the gate. You have that in some contracts. But at the end of the day, the only time that it's a win-win to me, of course, I'm a coach, is that the funds go back into your program. And most of the time it doesn't. It goes to the overall general budget. Somewhere, somehow down the line, football universities, HBC universities, have to find other ways of financing without prostituting the players, the kids, when they don't see the benefit. You had the big thing with Florida A&M coming in. And of course, I've been around for 40 years in black college football. They got to find other avenues and to elevate the monies and the funding that goes to these football programs.
Yeah, I got you. Now, Alabama A&M lost to UAB 59-0. Reportedly, I didn't hear him say it. I haven't heard a clip of him say it. But reportedly, the head coach of Alabama A&M said, I'm not paid to beat UAB. I'm paid to win the SWAC.
Well, again, that's a contract situation. Yeah, because you do get so much money on winning a conference. I don't know, did he just go in the game and like, okay, we're just going to show up and get paid and let me play my reserves or not my best players and go in and take the whooping and get the money and move. I hope he didn't for that intention, because when I coached every game I went into with a strategy and a way to win. I don't believe that you coach to lose.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised that the coach would even make that statement. A game is a game. It can't happen on any given Sunday.
Right.
Or Saturday.
Right. Yeah, that was my thought. If he went into that game thinking we're just going to lose, take this check and go, then I'm disappointed. If he's saying that, yeah, hey, listen, we did the best we could, we lost, but my focus is on my conference because that's that's where we get our quote unquote reward, then I can see what he was trying to say. Right.
But once again, like I said, AJ, we got to find a way in the HBCU level. Prime time, Deion Sanders is doing a great job down there. He's using all his resources, to make sure that program is ran correctly and you can see the results. But we got to have ADs with that attitude. We got to have presidents with that attitude. People on the campus with that attitude, and we can't run it. We can't run universities like we used to in the 70s and 80s. things have changed. The world has changed. About around technology, athletics. Is a $1 billion industry. You can't run from it. If you're gonna have a team, you can't run from it.
Right.
You got to find ways and resources to make sure that you run your program great. Anybody knows now that you've been around sports that football is the moneymaker.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have basketball, but football, especially in the South, is king.
Yep. BS3, Ben Sutter III said, you play to win the game. That's what Herm Edwards said when folks were asking him about, was he really trying to win? You play to win the game. You're not tanking games. You're not dumping games, and you're not showing up just for checks.
Oh, no, ain't no question.
Yeah.
I remember I played, we played a team up in New Jersey. And we really came out to win the game, and unfortunately, we didn't, but we let them know that we came up to win the football game.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with Coach Johnny Cole. Johnny Cole's HBCU Stroll.
Discouragement, sorrow, distance. Your arguments cause damage to your family. The hurt leads to divorce. You feel like there is nowhere else to turn. But there is hope for you. That's where we come into play. There is an overcomer that lives inside of you. One ready to take on the world as you leap for joy, living in victory. You'll grow to love yourself and others. There's life after divorce, and you can claim it today. Get Over Divorce, where your new story begins here every Thursday on YouTube and Spreaker.
Another of the great shows on the BS3 network. If you got a Roku streaming device, download BS3 TV. You'll be glad you did. A lot of great shows like the one coming up tonight at 7 o'clock. Queen 3 and King. It's going to be a great show. They got a great topic for you tonight. I'll be on that show next Tuesday talking about recovering from or life after miscarriage. So you all tune in for that. All right. Coach Johnny Cole from Johnny Cole's HBCU Stroll joining me on Talk Your Team Tuesday here on the lunch break powered by JM&E. And Coach, as we were going through the games, there's a team in the SWAC that's 2-0, and it ain't Jackson State. It's Alabama State. Now, they got their first win over MEAC team Howard in the MEAC SWAC championship, but then they beat Miles College over the weekend 21-13. Should we take anything away from them being 2-0, or should we be like, Alabama State trying to make a little noise over on that side of the SWAC?
Well, that's kind of a two-way go. I mean, 2-0 is 2-0, and that's where you want to be. You got a new coach there. That really hadn't had a lot of experience in coaching, so strategy-wise, schedule-wise, it was in their best advantage. I felt that Howard, they got past Howard, but Howard hasn't really been beating the bushes down in the past years. And then you go play at Division II Miles College, but I don't take anything from Miles, because Miles has been real good in SIAC. They've been number one, number two last 7 years. They've been either one or two, but the game was close. But the game was close because I hear that it's reported that Alabama State's starting quarterback got hurt.
Okay.
So the backup came in and things kind of changed around, but Alabama State with a new offensive coordinator, got to get things rolling. One thing that I know, defense is always ahead of the offense. So, the jury's still out, the word's still out that I don't know to jump on that bandwagon or not. Keep your money in your pocket. Don't start betting yet. Let them get down in the SWAC, but the schedule has been in their favor. So they, again, they played a Howard that ain't been beating bushes down later in a Division II Miles College. So they sitting pretty. That they where they supposed to be.
Okay. And the quarterback out of North Shore High School here won a couple state championships back to back, and hope he is well and able to get back on the field this coming week. Grambling got off to a very tough start, but again, borderline money game. Arkansas State, not a Power 5. They lost that game 58-3. Did you expect more out of Grambling, or did that one go about like you thought it would?
No, I thought it went like, Arkansas State is not the team of the old. Matter of fact, I played them back 10 years ago, and I called them at the wrong time. They beat me 83-10. Even though it was my first year there, and they weren't trying to score 83. Let me tell you, Coach. But they were that good, and they went on to do great things. They went on to a bowl game that year. So, and since then, they've been pretty good. So. No, that doesn't surprise me. Once again, I don't care if Hugh Jackson coached in the pros and all them great times. He's a new coach coming in the conference. He's coaching the different type of players, and it shows, So, no, I'm not surprised. Again, I wouldn't say that they're not going to be good this year, because, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
So they're playing a good team, a great program. So we'll see.
Yeah, I got to tell you, got to shout out to a very good friend, dear friend, brother of mine. Garrick Jones came out of Arkansas State, and he went into the NFL. In fact, he tells a story. He made the NFL out of his trunk of his car. So, Arkansas State has some players. Again, we'll see how Grambling bounce back after that. Alcorn won one that they really could. They lost one that they really could have won. They had Stephen F. Austin down late in that game and ended up losing 31-27. That would have been a big upset win because Stephen F. Austin is ranked in the top 25 of the FCS top 25. What do you think about that game? Again, 31-27 Alcorn.
Well, that'll show you right there where HBCU football is and where it's at. That we're competing, with teams across the board on our level, and it's always been that way. It's just that, now, the spotlight is on. So Alcorn, been good the last 10 years, and you can't take nothing away from them. Coach Manier down there does a great job, has a great staff. He got a new coordinator this year, So, I'm glad to see that. And that say that Alcorn is going to be strong on their side, which is the west side of the SWAC conference. So that's good when you see your football teams compete. Even though they lost the football game, they were in the game the whole time.
Yeah, 2 games to circle on your schedule. October 22nd at Texas Southern. Home versus Texas Southern. And then November 19th, they will host they'll host Jackson State. So we'll see how bad Alcorn beats your alma mater, TSU. I see all those helmets in the background. And then we'll see if they can make some noise against Jackson State.
Yeah. Man, the Mississippi schools, man, I shake my head when I see it because I whipped them all, Coach. I lined them up. And whipped them all like shoot goldfish in a bucket of water. But they play good football over there. I look to see, Jackson State is like the traveling all-stars.
Yeah.
You remember seeing that movie Bingo Long and the Traveling All-Stars?
Yep.
Yeah. But, I got to take my hat off, man. Coach Prime did like Muhammad Ali. He called it out. And he's saying what round and how much he's scoring. And, man, look.
Yeah, before we get to him, let me get to these other. I purposely saved him for last because we can talk all day on him. I want to give some love to these other schools.
Yeah.
Pine Bluff got off to a 1-0 start. Now they beat Lane College 48-42. Again, what are your thoughts about that game? How close it was, and what does it say about Pine Bluff beating a school like Lane?
They tell me that Pine Bluff hadn't gotten better, and it tells me too that Coach Vernon Brown down there, Lane, has gotten super. Lane is a perennial losing program, and they just had their first winning season in like the last I think 12 years. You know what I mean? I think they went 6-5. So he's doing a super job. Another Division II program that's coming up. So to play Pine Bluff 48-42 and to have tied it up at the end of the game, man, says a lot.
Yeah.
You know, it says that Pine Bluff is not playing no defense.
Uh-huh.
I think he had almost 600 yards of offense. And what they done in Lane, you supposed to. You know, you can't get no feather in your cap, you know, for putting 48 points on the Division II perennial losing program. You know, so right now, you know, if I'm a betting man, Pine Bluff, I wouldn't be betting. I would be definitely betting against.
Wow. All right, let me take a quick break. We got the coach, Johnny Cole. He's got his HBCU stroll on Mondays, 12 noon, right here on this network and BS3. We'll be right back right after this on the lunch break.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yeah, that's where it all goes down, right there on the BS3 network. If you got a ROKU streaming device, just download BS3 TV. Download BS3 TV. You'll have a lot of great shows, not just sports, but a lot of great shows. You saw them all right there. So get in on a new way to watch TV, changing the way you watch TV, BS3 TV network. All right, Coach Johnny Cole from Johnny Cole's HBCU Stroll right here on the lunch break. Talk Your Team Tuesday, and we're going down through the SWAC. Real quick, Coach. Southern all over Florida Memorial College, 86-0. Talk to me.
Well, you know, everybody got to line up, and the ball got to be kicked off, and you keep the score for a reason. And you know, Florida Memorial's, you know, one of the teams that's starting their program off, but you know, Florida Memorial had beat Edward Waters, you know, the week before with Toriana Morgan, you know, who's been on the show.
Yep, on the show.
And I had an opportunity to talk with him. And, you know, they off to a slow start. So it wasn't like when they showed up, you know, they just laid down. You know, it says a little bit about Southern. And, you know, if you know Coach Dooley, he's an offensive-minded guy, you know, and, you know, you got to be prepared. And if you're not prepared, that's what happens. You get 86 hung on you.
Wow.
So, but you know, you don't want to put a lot. You don't want to invest a lot in that. And say Southern is going to the championship. You don't want to do that. But they did what they're supposed to. You know, when you play those teams, and you know, we just look forward to, you know, who they got next week.
Yeah. My daughter's running around bragging. You know, she's a new Southern Jag, so she running around bragging that they're gonna be undefeated. It's like, hold on, baby. Hold on, that's one game, just one game. All right, let's get to the one that, you know, Prairie View 40, Texas Southern 23.
Well, you know, I'm supposed to have Coach Granger on next week, you know, the athletic director. You know, you just got to the facts. The facts is that now you're a freshman and I'm talking about Texas Southern, your freshmen are now seniors in your program. And if they redshirted, then they redshirt seniors. This is your stamp. This is your approval. This is the house that you built. And, and then getting beat by Prairie View the same way you got beat last year, you really didn't make a big improvement. Unless they make a jump and turn, because, in this game, teams get better from game 1 to game 2. Am I ready to, to throw the life jacket out? No, not yet. The baby bathwater. But you got to play better. You got to play better, and playing your rival. You just can't get beat the same way that you got beat the year before. And They got a new coach.
Right. Yeah.
Evidently, Bubba had the kids ready, rocking and rolling. He took over a championship program. Let's not forget that. Coach Dooley left him some food on the shelf.
Yep.
So
the cupboards weren't bare.
And then sometimes, all he had to do was squeeze the gun. They left the gun, and all Coach had to do it. And maybe he didn't make a wholesale change, because I think some of the coaches stayed. I'm pretty sure some of the coaches stayed, but it was a disappointing showing for Texas Southern, my alma mater. You can't. There's no way you can get around it. The disappointment, and then you go down, and now you're about to play North Texas State.
Right. So they're gonna start out 0-2. They're gonna start out 0-2.
Ain't no question.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't get no injuries.
Right.
Because North Texas State gonna put it on you pretty good.
Yeah.
And then you go with Southern.
Right.
Which is gonna be a tough game.
Yeah.
So they got their work cut out for them. And then you got UTSA after that. And then you got Alabama State after that. And it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. You don't want to be going into homecoming, 1-6. That's gonna be tough. So, Coach McKinney, you're on the clock. I hate to say that, because I was a coach myself.
Yeah.
But you got to own it. You got to own it, and it's your product.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the other one. Jackson State, FAMU, 59-3. 59-3. And Shedeur Sanders looked like he could just do no wrong.
Without a doubt. He's grasped that offense, and he looked like he owned it, like he put the offense in. I mean, his first 17 throws was completions, and 3 of them were scores. Right. That was the difference. They always been good defensively. They held Florida in the 6 last year. And then you see the improvement from this year as far as offensive line go, and they brought in a new offense, and he was on. All cylinders, everything was working, and if Florida A&M is the second best team in the SWAC, and Jackson State just beat them 59-10. Yeah,
that gap is definitely broadening. And that's what I said. I posted on Twitter. And they're doing this against arguably the second best team in the SWAC. So talk about it from the other perspective. Coach Simmons, what went wrong for him, and how much of that would you attribute to what was happening off the field?
Well, it ain't no question that all the distraction off the field, the players deciding whether they're going to play or don't play. Some of the players came back. Some of the players disappeared. Some of them still is not there. It's tormenting. It's sad that a coach have to do that. And I told you yesterday that, on my show, I've been through that before, more than once. And, we got to get away from that. HBCUs got to put the money. If you're going to have an athletic program, put the money into your athletic program.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, see, here's the deal. These presidents and these ADs and principals and on the high school level as well. The football field is a classroom. The weight room is a classroom. It ain't no different than the math department. The English, it's no different.
Yeah.
the game teaches you so much more about life than an English class. English just teach you how to speak proper English. You got to actually talk on the football field. You know, you got to actually think on the football field. You know, changing plays, sign language. You go through sign language. You go through team camaraderie. You go through getting your butt knocked on the ground.
Yeah.
You know, your nose bleeding, your shoulder broke. You know what I mean? And then you got to get up and get to the next play. And you got 40 seconds to retrieve the information and put on field and then attack another man.
Yeah.
So we got to get out of, oh, it's a jock. These are jocks. No, some of your greatest leaders in the world
came from
have been athletes.
Right.
You know, some of your greatest senators and congressmen were athletes.
Right.
You know, and so we got to get away from keeping it separate. You know what I'm saying? And the game produces more scholarships than academic scholarships. Hello.
Yeah.
Let me say that again, Coach. The game produced more scholarships than your math department or your English department or you understand? So we got to take a different approach and get out of the old and get with what's going on in this world today.
There's a prominent report. Well, let me fix it. There's a reporter out there who seems to keep coming for Travis Hunter. He said something to the effect of, imagine being Travis Hunter watching Florida State play on national TV and realizing you made the wrong decision. Do you feel like that young man made the wrong decision after what you've seen out of him at Jackson State?
No. Look, that's the biggest myth. You know, the NFL's job, the recruiter's job, is find the best players in the country.
Yeah.
That's their job, to find the best. They didn't say find the best players in the PWI. Because we know, I know I played, that ain't where all the best players are at.
Right.
And here's the thing. The best players, some of them don't make it.
Often.
For other reasons.
Often.
Right. For other reasons.
Yeah.
Where's their kid losing out at? They're gonna play on television every week. So the NFL scouts do not watch games on TV. They watch game film. So they'll look at film.
Yep.
They're gonna come in time and he busts a 4.2, 4.3. Yeah. He's already got the size and height.
Yeah.
So I don't want to wear you out, but you know, that angers me.
Me too.
You got a guy that's bothering a kid like that.
Me too.
And they don't understand the experience of, the only thing they know is what they know. You know, going to school with everybody that looks like them, that they can feel comfortable. He's in a place that everybody looks like him, talks like him, walks like him, and he's more comfortable in that environment.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, Coach, let me jump over to the MEAC real quick. Delaware State beat Lincoln in Pennsylvania 34-0. Marshall beat Norfolk 55-3. Georgia Southern beat Morgan State 59-7. But here's the one that stands out for me. North Carolina Central beat A&T 28-13 in their rivalry game. What are your thoughts about that one?
Yeah, that's the Eagle game out there at North Carolina Central and A&T, and they play every year. Coach Washington, you know, we met him last year. Mm-hmm. He's on his way out. I think this is his last year. You know, they not the team like they have. You know, and then, you know, got other issues off the field. They had some eligibility issues. Mm. You know what I mean? So you can't count North Carolina A&T out. You know, it's just that Central probably got a little better. Because, you know, last year Central was pretty good as well. Mm-hmm. So they got a little better. That, you know, and I know when rivals play and football gods come in, you know, a dog gonna find a bone every now and then.
Yeah.
So that's a big win for Central.
Yeah, A&T was arguably the preseason favorite to win the Big South tournament this year, Big South Conference this year. So we'll see if they bounce back. But got to be a good look for Central beating, their in-state rival.
Yeah, that's a big win. But once again, you got to see what happened off the field, and a lot of times, you don't know what's going on off the field.
Right.
But
Coach,
Morgan State,
go ahead.
Morgan State still they got a new coach over there from Bowie State, and they open up with a tough one with Georgia Southern. That's really not a good game to open up on your first, when you first go over there. So, he got a lot of work to do. Got a lot of work to do.
Let me run through these real quick. You tell me who you think's going to win. This coming Saturday, September the 10th, Mississippi Valley at Austin Peay. Who you got?
Austin Peay.
South Carolina State at Bethune-Cookman. Who you got?
South Carolina State.
Alabama State at UCLA. Who you got?
Boy, UCLA just put a slacking on. I can't think. I was just watching it last night, but UCLA.
Yeah, Albany State at FAMU. Who you got?
FAMU.
I'm not a fan of either of those quarterbacks. They both had the worst games of their careers probably this past weekend, man. And they stuck with Musa for as long as they could, but every time they brought McKay in, he was turning the ball over. So I don't know. We'll see who bounces back.
I think Florida A&M should have slowed the game up just a tad bit. Got into some run formations, because what was happening in Jackson State's defense, they weren't even lining up. They were kind of standing up at the line of scrimmage, and we could have got in double tight and slowed that game up, kept Secure off the field, and ran that ball against them.
Yeah, they didn't make any adjustments. Well, I know an offensive coordinator that would have given them some help if they had made the right hire. Alcorn will visit my alma mater, Tulane. Who you got?
Tulane.
Alabama A&M at Troy.
Troy.
North American at Arkansas Pine Bluff.
50-7. Pine Bluff.
Okay, I see that as an upset.
North America is a club team.
Yeah.
We had them last year at homecoming, and everybody left after the first quarter.
Gotcha. Grambling at Northwestern State.
Who?
Grambling at Northwestern State.
It's a good game for Grambling and Northwest. It's a good game for Grambling. We'll talk after that one. We'll see where Grambling is after that one.
All right. I'm going to save this next one for last. Southern at LSU. That's going to be – I'm concerned about that game. I'm concerned about the safety of those players, those kids for that game.
Why is that? You think it's no competition? It's different levels? Or
it's definitely different levels.
Jaw jacket.
Talking about,
the jaw jacket. Yeah, it's a rival, and hopefully the coaches, are talking to the players about saying, "Hey, this is a great home rivalry. It ain't no us against them. Because I've coached at Southern University, and it's almost like a black versus white type situation.
That's what I'm concerned about.
And hopefully that the coaches, if I was the coach, I probably would call the coach over at LSU, and maybe before the game start or after the game is over, make sure that we shake hands or talk to the players about the game is played inside the triangle.
Yeah.
And we got 60 minutes to be violent.
Right.
Before those 60 minutes and after those 60 minutes, let's focus on playing football. And then let's focus on sportsmanship.
Yeah.
Because the city needs that game.
Yeah.
The city needs the game.
But let me tell you, Baton Rouge, some of the people in that city, brother, I'll leave that alone. Leave that alone. I'm praying for that.
Are you going down?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. Yeah. Texas Southern at North Texas, where I talked about that. North Texas. Prairie View at Abilene Christian.
Man, that's a good game for Prairie View. It'll really see where they are, to see if either Texas Southern was that bad or they that good.
Mm-hmm.
Because they did a great job against Texas Southern, and I thought TSU, I thought we would win that game this year. This year, being that we got a 4-year coach opposed to a new coach.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. So that's going to be a good game for Prairie View to measure where they are.
Last and certainly not least, Texas State and Jackson State.
Man.
Tennessee State. I'm sorry.
Tennessee State played Eastern Washington good last week. Who was Eastern Washington? Eastern Washington is a team out in Washington that plays great football. They have a red football field. Matter of fact, my brother, one of my older brothers, graduated from there. Matter of fact, the one right over me, he graduated from there, and they produce good football players.
Yeah.
And Tennessee State played them very, very tough. Matter of fact, Tennessee State's tailback, Stalling, he rushed for 207 yards on just 25 carries.
Right.
That's big.
Yep.
That's big. But the defense didn't show up for either team. You know, both of them had over 500 yards of offense.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a big measure stick. This another black college team, Tennessee State. One of the best. Let's see if they can slow Shakur and Jackson State down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'll be a good measure stick.
It'll be well attended because, the sad part about it is it's the last time they play.
Right. Right. Yeah. Coach, I'm ready to wrap it up, man. This migraine is kicking my butt. But Keith Hennig said Texas and Alabama should be a great nap for him. He's a UT fan. Can UT do anything to slow Alabama down?
Well, let me say this. Alabama got to slow Texas down. Coach Sarkisian could put some numbers up. He could put some numbers up now. Don't sleep on him. Everywhere he been, he don't score points. So the thing is can Alabama slow him down? We know what Alabama gonna do.
Yeah.
Can he slow the University of Texas down?
Coach, tell everybody where they can find you and follow you and how they can check your shows out on Mondays.
Go to YouTube, # Johnny Cole, the HBCU Stroll. Twitter, the Hobo, HOBO offense, and Instagram, Cold-Blooded 9. Thank you, man.
Always
looking forward to Monday show.
Yeah.
Don't miss it.
Yep.
I got Texas Southern's own All-American basketball player, our athletic director, Mr. Kevin Granger. Next week, Monday show started 12 to 1.
All right, Coach. We appreciate you, man. Tell the family we said hello. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, BS3, JM&E. Thank you.
All right, Coach. All right, y'all. It was good having Coach Cole on today, man. He is a great brother, great friend, great frat brother. Love rocking with him. Does a great job on the show. Just want to let folks know, if you are somebody who's got an idea for some shows, there's several folks out here who can help you with it. BS3, myself, other networks, we can help you with your show. If you got an idea, let's bring it to pass. All right, look, let me get out of here. Again, got a bit of a migraine, and it is wearing me out. So we'll talk to you, Lord willing, tomorrow for Winning Wednesday. We'll talk about the Lunch Break Weekly, Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge. As always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. So meet me here tomorrow at noon.
Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Tuesday, September 6, 2022. Number 1, a federal judge granted a request by former President Donald Trump's legal team to appoint a special master to review documents seized by the FBI from his Florida home and temporarily halted the Justice Department's use of records for investigative purposes. The decision by U.S. District Judge Eileen Cannon came despite the objections of the Justice Department. The appointment is likely to slow the pace of the department's investigation into the presence of top-secret information at Mar-a-Lago. Number 2, President Joe Biden delivered a primetime presidential address about the soul of the nation Thursday in Philadelphia. He touched on some of his administration's biggest successes so far, ongoing threats to American democracy, and what's at stake in the November midterm elections. The president appealed to citizens to vote to protect their democracy. Number 3, China has locked down 65 million of its citizens under tough COVID-19 restrictions and and is discouraging domestic travel during upcoming national holidays. Across the country, 33 cities, including 7 provincial capitals, are under full or partial lockdown, covering more than 65 million people. Despite a relatively low number of infections, authorities have adhered to a zero COVID policy, requiring lockdowns, quarantines, and the confining of people suspected of being in close contact with any confirmed case. Number 4, a black student at a Catholic school in South Dakota will have to leave the school after he was told to cut his dreadlocks by administrators, forcing his parents to defend their son and his hair. Braxton Schaefer and his mother were told by the assistant principal to cut his dreadlocks as it is a policy violation under the school's current regulations. The school president said they cannot change the policy until at least 2023. Number 5. Many homeowners have already missed out on the chance to refinance their mortgage, but others could still benefit from a refi today. Mortgage experts recommend trying to reduce your rate by at least 3/4 of a point to make it worth the cost of a refinancing. Read more about it in today's newsletter, brought to you by Texas CPA Katrina M. Kraft. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Patience is not about giving up, it's waiting for the universe to do its job. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with the wonderful Damon Williams, comedian extraordinaire, and political contributor Cameron Riley, as we discuss today's top headlines and more. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partners, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and the American Heart Association. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SibylWilkes.com. Be informed, be empowered.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.